Power has the ability to reveal who we truly are. For some, it awakens greed. For others, it feeds pride. But once in history, the most powerful man on earth chose a different path. He believed that the greatest victory was not over an enemy, but over himself. His name was Marcus Aurelius, an emperor, a philosopher, a warrior, and a man whose private thoughts would outlive the empire he ruled. Nearly 2,000 years after his death, his words continue to guide soldiers, leaders, entrepreneurs, and ordinary people searching for peace in a restless world. But Marcus Aurelius was not born with a crown upon his head. His story begins long before he became emperor. It begins with a quiet child who preferred books over luxury, reflection over applause, and discipline over comfort. Marcus Aurelius was born on April 26th in the year 121 AD in Rome. He entered one of the wealthiest and most respected families of the Roman Empire. His father died while Marcus was still very young. Although the loss shaped his early years, he was surrounded by relatives who ensured he received an exceptional education. From childhood, Marcus showed qualities that distinguished him from others. He was thoughtful, curious, patient. While many children admired games and celebrations, Marcus admired wisdom. He developed a fascination with philosophy long before he understood the responsibilities that awaited him. One teacher introduced him to Stoicism, a philosophy that taught something both simple and revolutionary. You cannot control what happens to you. You can only control how you respond. This idea settled deeply within the young Marcus. It became more than a lesson. It became a way of life. Even as a teenager, he practiced self-discipline with unusual seriousness. He chose simple clothing. He accepted discomfort without complaint. He trained himself to resist anger, pleasure, and fear. Too many people around him, these habits seemed unnecessary. But Marcus believed that comfort could weaken character. True strength, he thought, was built from within. His remarkable character soon attracted the attention of Emperor Hadrian. Although Hadrian did not choose Marcus as his immediate successor, he recognized the young man's extraordinary potential. A careful plan was set into motion. Antoninus Pius would become emperor, and Marcus Aurelius would eventually inherit the throne after him. To secure that future, Antoninus formally adopted Marcus as his son. In ancient Rome, adoption was often a political decision rather than a family one. Yet this single act changed the course of history. The young philosopher suddenly became the future ruler of the greatest empire on earth. Many people would have celebrated such a destiny. Marcus accepted it with humility. He understood that power was not a reward. It was a responsibility. For more than 2 decades, he prepared patiently. He studied law, history, military strategy, public speaking, and above all, philosophy, while others sought influence through ambition. Marcus sought wisdom through reflection. He believed that a ruler must first govern himself before attempting to govern millions of others. His teachers included some of the finest minds in Rome. They taught him reason, discipline, justice, patience. Yet Marcus never claimed to be perfect. In fact, the more he learned, the more aware he became of his own weaknesses. That quiet humility would remain one of his defining qualities throughout his life. In 145 AD, Marcus married Faustina the Younger, the daughter of Emperor Antoninus Pius. Together, they would have many children. Though several died in childhood a heartbreaking reality even for imperial families in the ancient world. Personal sorrow became another lesson in Stoicism. Marcus learned that even an emperor could not bargain with fate. No amount of wealth, no amount of power could prevent loss. Years passed. Antoninus Pius ruled wisely and peacefully. Marcus remained at his side, learning not only how to lead an empire, but how to carry the enormous weight of responsibility. Then, in 161 AD, Antoninus died. The empire looked toward its new ruler. Marcus Aurelius became emperor, but in a decision almost unheard of in Roman history, he refused to rule alone. Instead, he insisted that his adoptive brother, Lucius Verus, share the throne with him. For Marcus, leadership was never about personal glory. It was about serving something greater than himself. Yet no philosophy, however powerful, could prepare him for what came next. War erupted along Rome's borders. Disease spread across the empire. Political unrest threatened stability. The peaceful student of philosophy was about to become a commander of armies, and the greatest test of his beliefs was only beginning. Marcus Aurelius had spent his life preparing to rule with wisdom. Instead, he inherited an empire in crisis. Soon after becoming emperor, Rome found itself surrounded by conflict. To the east, war broke out with the Parthian Empire. Along the northern frontier, powerful Germanic tribes pushed against Rome's borders. At the same time, another enemy appeared, one that no army could defeat. A deadly plague spread throughout the empire. Historians believe it claimed millions of lives. Cities grew quieter. Families were torn apart. Fear spread faster than any messenger. The empire that had once seemed unstoppable suddenly appeared fragile. For Marcus Aurelius, these disasters were not merely political problems. They were personal tests. Everything Stoicism had taught him was now being challenged by reality. Would he remain calm when everything around him was falling apart? Would he continue to choose reason over fear? History suggests that he did. Unlike many rulers before him, Marcus did not hide behind palace walls. He spent years with his soldiers on Rome's frontiers. He marched through rain, snow, mud, and bitter cold. He slept in military camps. He shared the hardships of the men he commanded. The Emperor of Rome could have lived surrounded by luxury. Instead, he chose duty. It was during these military campaigns that Marcus began writing the words that would make him immortal. Not speeches, not laws, not letters meant for the public. He wrote private reflections, notes to himself, reminders about the kind of man he wanted to become. He never intended anyone else to read them. Centuries later, those writings became known as Meditations. It is one of the most influential philosophical books ever written. Yet it was never meant to be a book at all. It was a conversation between a man and his own conscience. Again and again, Marcus reminded himself of simple truths. You cannot control the opinions of others. You cannot control illness. You cannot control death. But you can always control your character. You can choose honesty. You can choose patience. You can choose courage. To Marcus Aurelius, every difficult situation presented the same question. Not, why is this happening to me? But, how should I respond? That single shift in perspective became the foundation of Stoic philosophy. He believed that obstacles were not interruptions to life. They were life itself. Every hardship offered an opportunity to practice wisdom. Every failure became a chance to develop resilience. Every loss reminded us that nothing in this world lasts forever. Perhaps one of his most famous ideas can be summarized in a single thought. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. For Marcus, the battlefield was not only outside the walls of Rome, it was inside the human mind. Anger, fear, pride, envy, these were the enemies that threatened every person, regardless of wealth or power. A man could conquer nations and still be defeated by his own desires. That was why Marcus believed self-mastery was the highest form of victory. His reign was not perfect. No reign ever is. He faced criticism, political conspiracies, military setbacks, and personal grief. Several of his children died while he was emperor. Each loss reminded him that even the ruler of Rome remained subject to the same laws of nature as every other human being. Still, he continued to lead, not because leadership was easy, but because duty mattered more than comfort. As the years passed, Marcus Aurelius became known not only for his authority, but also for his restraint. He understood that fear could force obedience, but respect had to be earned. His greatest ambition was never to be remembered as the strongest emperor. He wanted to be remembered as a just one. In the year 180 AD, while leading another military campaign near the Danube frontier, Marcus Aurelius became seriously ill. On March 17th, he died at the age of 58. The philosopher who had ruled an empire was gone, but his thoughts remained. The Roman Empire would continue for centuries. Eventually, it too would fall. Its armies disappeared. Its emperors became names in history books. Its monuments slowly weathered with time. Yet the private reflections Marcus Aurelius wrote for himself survived them all. Today, Meditations is read across the world, not because it promises an easy life, but because it teaches something far more valuable. That peace does not come from controlling the world. It comes from controlling yourself. Marcus Aurelius left behind no perfect formula for happiness. He knew that suffering was unavoidable, that loss was inevitable, that death awaited every person, emperor and farmer alike. Yet he also believed that every single day offered a choice: to live with integrity, to act with kindness, to remain calm in chaos, and to become a little better than the person you were yesterday. Perhaps that is why his words still feel so alive after nearly 2,000 years. Because human nature has not changed. We still fear uncertainty. We still struggle with anger. We still search for meaning. And in that search, the quiet voice of a Roman emperor continues to remind us that the greatest empire we will ever rule is ourselves.